The Gallowglasses were a class of elite mercenary warriors who were principally members of the Norse-Gaelic clans of Scotland between the mid-13th century and late 16th century. As Scots, they were Gaels and shared a common background and language with the Irish, but as they had intermarried with the 10th century Norse settlers of western Scotland, the Irish called them Gall Gaeil. Large numbers of Gallowglass septs settled in Ireland after being dispossessed of the lands in Scotland for choosing the wrong sides in the Wars of Scottish Independence. The first and probably most famous of these were the MacSweeneys, settled by the O'Donnells in North Donegal. These were followed by MacDonalds, McCabe's and several other groups settled by powerful Irish nobles in different areas. The Gallowglasses were attractive as a heavily armoured, trained aristocratic infantry to be relied upon as a strong defence for holding a position. Unlike most Irish foot soldiers, who were lower class and less well armoured than the typical Irish noble who fought as cavalry, in time there came to be many native Irish Gallowglasses as the term came to mean a type of warrior rather than an ethnic designation. They were a significant part of Irish infantry before the advent of gunpowder and depended upon seasonal service with Irish chieftains. A military leader would often choose a Gallowglass to serve as his personal aide and bodyguard because, as a foreigner, the Gallowglass would be less subject to local feuds and influences. Name. The term is an anglicisation of the Irish Gallowglass, with the English plural "s" added to the end. The singular of Gallowglass is gallowglass. The word oglic comes from Old Irish oac in Old Irish loic, although the English term comes from an Irish plural n. Carter specifies the plural of gallowglass to be gallowglasses. Shakespeare uses the form gallowglasses in the play Macbeth. The Oxford English Dictionary prefers the spelling gallowglass and provides several examples attesting to ordinary English plural forms of the word. Dating back to AC 1515 use of gallowglasses. The etymologically correct form gallowgla appears later than the erroneous gallowglass, which was probably the result of the plural gallowglass. In some early instances gallowglass seems to be used as a plural, but gallowglasses is found already in our earliest UUOT origin. The Gallowglass were from the western coast of Scotland, principally Argyll and the Western Isles. The weapon of choice was a battle-axe. Each was usually accompanied by a man to see to his weapons and armor and a boy to carry provisions. Description. A description from 1600 speaks of the Gallowglass as picked and selected men of great and mighty bodies, cruel without compassion. The greatest force of the battle consisteth in them choosing rather to die than to yield, so that when wighty cometh to handy blows they are quickly slain or win the field. History. The first record of Gallowglass service was in 1259, when Adh O'Connor, king of Connacht, received a dowry of 160 Scottish warriors from the daughter of Dubhai ul Mac Ruairi, the king of the Hebrides. They were organized into groups known as a corrigard, which consisted of about 100 men. The importation of Gallowglasses into Ireland was a major factor in containing the Anglo-Norman invasion of the 12th century, as the ranks stiffened the resistance of the Irish lordships. Throughout the Middle Ages in Ireland, Gallowglass troops were maintained by Gaelic Irish and Hiberno-Norman lords alike. Even the English Lord Deputy of Ireland usually kept a company of them in his service. In return for military service, Gallowglass contingents were given land and settled in Irish lordships, where they were entitled to receive supplies from the local population. By 1512, there were reported to be 59 groups throughout the country under the control of the Irish nobility. Though initially they were mercenaries, over time they settled and the ranks became filled with both Scots, Norse and many native Irish men. In 1569, Turlough Llewellyn O'Neill married Lady Agnes Campbell, daughter of Colin Campbell, 3rd Earl of Argyll, and widow of James MacDonald, 6th of Donegal. Her dowry consisted of at least 1,200 Gallowglass fighters, along with 2 young men as support and friends on top to assist the fight. This could easily have numbered over 5,000 current and future Gallowglasses coming into the area. They were noted for wielding the massive two-handed Sparthax and broadsword or claymore. For armor, the Gallowglass wore a mail shirt over a padded jacket and an iron helmet. He was usually accompanied by 2 boys, one of whom carried his throwing spears while the other carried his provisions. Shakespeare mentions Gallowglasses in his play Macbeth, although along with other aspects of the play it is an anachronism. The historical Macbeth lived in the 11th century. In a paper entitled A Description of the Power of Irishmen, written early in the 16th century, the Irish forces of Leinster are numbered at 522 horse, 5 battalions of Gallowglass and 1,432 kern, and those of the other provinces were in like proportion. MacCarthy commanded 40 horse, 2 battalions of Gallowglass, and 2,000 kern, the Earl of Desmond 400 horse, 3 battalions of Gallowglass, and 3,000 kern, besides a battalion of crossbowmen and gunners, the smaller chieftains supplying each the quota of men. In 1517, when the reformation of the country was taken in hand, it was reported that the Irish forces in Thomond were 750 horse, 2,324 kern, and 6 battalions of Gallowglass, the latter including 60 to 80 footmen harnessed with spears. Each of these had a man to bear his harness, some of whom themselves carried spears or bows. Every kern had a bow, a skeeve or quiver, 3 spears, a sword, and a skein, each 2 of them having a lad to carry the weapons. The horsemen had 2 horses apiece, some 3, the second bearing the knave or his attendant. The 16th century in Ireland saw an escalation in military conflict, caused by the Tudor conquest of Ireland. Gallowglass fighters were joined by native Irish mercenaries called Guanada and by newer Scottish mercenaries known as Red Shanks. The flow of mercenaries into Ireland was such a threat to English occupation that Queen Elizabeth I took steps against them in 1571. Around 700 of them were executed after the first of the Desmond rebellions. Despite the increased use of firearms in Irish warfare, Gallowglasses remained an important part of Hugh O'Neill's forces in the 9 Years' War. After the combined Irish defeat at the Battle of Kinsale in 1601, recruitment of Gallowglasses waned, although Scottish Highland mercenaries continued to come to Ireland until the 1640s. They fought under the Irish general Owen Roe O'Neill at the Battle of Benburb when O'Neill had an overwhelming victory in 1646. The Gallowglasses of the MacCarthy are recorded as having attacked Mallow in County Cork as late as 1645. Images of Gallowglasses fighting as mercenaries in European mainland armies were sketched by Dürer in 1521 and later by French and Dutch artists. Gallowglasses served in the Dutch Blue Guards, Swiss Guard, the French Scottish Guard, and the forces of King Gustavus Adolphus of Sweden in his invasion of Livonia during the 30 Years' War.